Hey YouTube, welcome back. Pastor Dave again from Temple of the Holy Beard. Thanks for tuning in. Today I just want to talk a little bit about alternative electricity, alternative power. Just hearing that there's, well, we all know that there's shortages of everything everywhere right now, but power is definitely something that's in short supply. A lot of power plants run on coal or natural gas, and a lot of their sources have been getting turned off or throttled down significantly for one reason or another. I was just hearing a report of a power plant down in Georgia, I believe it was. Their coal power plant, their coal pile is normally about 100 feet tall and half a mile long. That's normal, the way it is any given day for the past years. Right now, their stockpile of coal that they have to produce power with is enough for about a month. And that month they're running on low capacity. They don't have all their generators running. They're trying to supply as much power as they can with what they have, but they just don't have the supplies that they need to use it. If the coal started pouring in, they could easily turn on more generators, but if they were to turn on all their generators now, the coal that they have would be gone quickly. So, like I said, they're making do with what they have, trying to supply us with as much power as they can. But if the supplies stop coming in, what they have on hand isn't going to last very long. What the heck? Okay. Anyway, so that's something to think about. We have natural gas plants is another method. However, leases for extracting natural gas from the ground have been getting restricted, limited, or what's it called? Been getting turned down altogether. So the amount of power that they can produce from that is limited, and the natural gas stockpiles isn't what we need to last very long. It's not going to last long. Natural gas stockpiles, the strategic reserves, if you will, were intended to help us out for a short period of time during the state of emergency. However, that's been dwindling too. It's not going to last long. Just like the strategic oil reserves are pretty depleted right now. We can't rely on that for anything that runs gas or diesel. There's not much there. So, moral of the story is you got to be ready to take care of yourself. I'm sure you're going to say, well, Pastor Dave, I've got a generator. I can run, my fridge off of this. I can run that off of that. Maybe you've got a generator that's big enough to supply your house. That's great. Good for you. Generators like that are intended to last you during a short period of time. So if there's a tornado or a hurricane or an earthquake, something that comes through and disrupts supply for a few days or a week, or maybe a month, your generator is going to work just fine. But if you have a house-connected generator that runs off of natural gas or even propane, you've got to get that gas from somewhere. Where do you get it from? Well, if you're tapped into the supply lines to the grid, well, when we stop pumping, you're not going to get it. If those lines are shut off, you're not going to get it. Your generator's not going to work without fuel. If you have a gas or a diesel generator, well, you have to be able to get gas from the power, from the pumps, and just like I was mentioning, the pumping of fuel has been down. Right now in America, the fuel manufacturers are at capacity, something like 95% capacity, pumping, refining as much oil as they can, but there's just a shortage of what's coming in and how fast they can get it out, and it wouldn't take much of a sneeze to disrupt that line. If you can't get your diesel or your gas from the pump to refill your generator, you're out. So generators are great, but you've got to be thinking about what if. Look at every piece of that puzzle, everything that goes into keeping that thing running, and the weaknesses that are in there. Compare that to different things that are going on in the world right now. What do you think the chances are that you may not be able to get the fuel you need to run that generator? You need to be looking at alternative ways. One way is solar. Well, if you have a solar system on your house, that's great. That could be saving you a little bit of money from your electric bill. However, most grid-tied systems, unless you ask for it to be specifically engineered differently, they're connected to the grid. Your house solar system supplies power to the grid. You buy power from the power plant. So you get power coming in from the power plant, and you send it out on the line, and then your bill is basically the result of the difference. But if the power line goes out for some reason, let's say a tree falls in line, breaks the line, you're cut off. You're not set up to take power directly from your solar system, so your power's out. Now there is a type of cutoff switch that you can get installed, where when that happens, when the grid's cut off, you can just flip this switch. Some are set up to switch automatically, and then you can run off of your solar system so long as there's sun up. If you've got batteries in the line, then even better. Your system will charge the batteries. You can run off the batteries. That's great. That's really where you want to be, is to have the batteries in there. You want to have the grid cutoff switch. You want to have a little bit of manual control when the grid goes down. You want to still be able to run off of your system. Now, depending on where you live, you might be a little bit limited on electricity during the winter time, so closely monitor your electrical usage, and maybe, times get short, start shutting things off. If you're not in a situation where you have system on your roof, you don't have the money to do that, that's fine. Don't panic. A small system will go a long ways. Right now, Renogy, however you pronounce the name, is a solar panel manufacturer. They have a sale going on, especially on eBay. It's marked down. I assume they've got a better product that they're getting ready to come out with, and they're trying to get rid of the old ones. Either way, it's a good product. It's on sale, pretty nice sale. You could pick up a small system and a couple of batteries, and that'll be enough to charge some stuff. If you build it up enough, you get a good enough system, you can maybe run your fridge off of it. Run your essentials. It's better than nothing, and when there's no fuel available, something like that will keep you going. If you live near a nice stream, you might be able to incorporate a hydroelectric system. A small system can go a long ways towards helping you out. If you've got significant wind power in your area, wind turbine generators, DIY system online is cheap in regard to price per watt. If you compare price per watt on a wind turbine system versus price per watt on a solar system, wind turbine's the way to go all day long, if you've got enough wind. If you've got a place where your wind is good sometimes and it's not good sometimes, maybe you want to do a combination of the two, wind and solar, or wind, solar, and hydro if you can. Point is, we've become pretty dependent on electricity. So if you're in a situation where you need electricity, if you've got a fridge that you need to run, if you need to charge, whatever, if you need to keep the lights on, start thinking of alternative ways, not connected to the grid, not dependent on anybody else. You can set it up. Like I said, solar, a nice little ground mount system, doesn't take that much space. It's not that hard to build. If you're not sure what you're doing, check with your neighbors. Maybe you've got a neighbor that knows. In the future, I'll be doing videos on how to set up a little system, like I mentioned, so you can watch the videos. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. But again, if you're uncomfortable, reach out to your community, find somebody local. Maybe you can give them a 6-pack or a 12-pack of beer in exchange for spending a day helping you set it up and teaching you about it. Don't just hire someone to do the work for you. Learn how to do it yourself. If you need to, hire someone to teach you while they're doing it with you. If that makes sense. If your neighbor knows a little bit about electrical, if your neighbor knows about solar systems, whatever, maybe you can barter something to get him to come in and do the work and teach you while he's doing it. Next time, you might be able to do it yourself, or at least next time you're a little bit better off. There may come a time where you may not be able to get somebody to do it for you. You might be stuck on your own. So improve your self-sufficiency wherever you can. Um, Anything that needs to be done, try to learn how to do it yourself. If it's something that's just beyond you, don't don't let that bother you. You know, some people just are not able to do certain things. In fact, everybody is unable to do something. So don't feel bad about it. Find someone who can, barter with them, um, work something out. Try to learn if you can. Maybe you can get by next time, but you're just not good at it. But, improve yourself however you can. Um, and even reaching to your neighbors for help like that is a way to improve the bond between you and them. Maybe they need something that you can help them with in the future. Um, that's how you build a strong community, is helping each other out, talking to each other. Even if they can't help you, you go over, have a nice little conversation. Now you know kind of whether you can trust them or not. You get to know your neighbors, and you get to know who you can rely on, who you can't rely on. Having a strong community is invaluable. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to knock on doors. Be polite, introduce yourself. It'll go a long way. Um, anyway, that's what I have for now. Very important. Alternative ways. Always find an alternative way. Find a way to do for yourself, and get to know your neighbors. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.